Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Modules. Okay, Lesson 10. Hello there. Lesson 10, Perimeter and Area of Polygonal Regions in the Cartesian Coordinate Plane. All right, classwork opening exercise says, find the area of the triangle given, compare your answer and method to your neighbors, and discuss differences. So pause the video, see if you can do this, and then we'll take it from there. So here we go. As I can see here, it is not going through the origin, so we can't use that really cool 1/2 times x sub 2 y sub 1, like blah, blah, blah. So we can't use that formula because it's not going through the origin. So what can we do? Well, here's what I am going to do. I'm going to draw a rectangle around it so that each vertex is inscribed in my rectangle. So there it is. Whoa. All right, so then I noticed that it created 3 triangles. So I will color code them. Here's one. There's one. Here's one. And finally, let's do blue this time. This one. So I can find the area of the 3 triangles and subtract it from the area of the rectangle to get the total area. So the area of the rectangle is, well, it goes from 3 to -3. So this length is 6. And 1, 2, 3, the sides 3. So area of a rectangle is length times width. So therefore the area of the rectangle is 6 times 3, which is 18. And I'm just gonna, just to save time, I'm not gonna write, I should, so maybe I just will. 18 units squared. Okay, that's the area of the rectangle. I want to subtract the red triangle area, and I'll do those over here. So the area of the red triangle is 1/2 base times height. So the area of the red triangle is 1/2. The base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the whole distance, which is 6, times the height, which is 1 unit. And so the area is 1/2 times 6 times 1, which is 3 units squared. And the area of the green one is 1/2 base times height. So the area is 1/2, the base is 1, and the height is 2. So the area of this triangle is 1 unit squared. So there's one. I didn't circle this, I probably should. And this was the rectangle, and we have one more, the blue one. So the area equals 1/2 base times height. Area equals 1/2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This side is only 5. This side is 1, 2, 3. So it's a 5 by 3 triangle. So the area is 1/2 of 15, or 7.5 units squared. Okay, so if I know the whole area and I take the red triangle away, and then the green triangle away from the total, and then the blue triangle away from the total, I get the shaded triangle in the middle. So to finish this off now, it is area equals the rectangle's area minus all of the triangles. 18 minus 3 is 15, and minus 1 is 14, and minus 7 is 7, and minus another half is 6.5 units squared. So this is our final answer. All right, page 2, exercise 1. Given rectangle A, B, C, D in the diagram, identify the vertices. Okay. So here we go. A. A is the point 1, 4. B. B is right here. 3, 6. C. C is right here, 6, 3. And I am right here. Forgot to open my shutter. 6, 3. Okay, whoops, what was that? 6, 3. And finally, D is 4, 1. 4, 1. All right, so there's the 4 points, vertices. Find the perimeter using the distance formula. Okay, so distance formula means the length of AD is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 quantity squared. So distance is, so if we do AD, x2 minus x1, 4 minus 1 squared, plus y2, y from D minus y from A, 1 minus 4 squared, equals 4 minus 1 is 3, 1 minus 4 is negative 3, 3 squared is 9, negative 3 squared is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, that is the square root of 18. Okay, and then I will do DC, next side, DC. So DC equals the square root of boom, boom, minus plus squared, minus squared. Okay, so DC, now we're doing DC, x2 minus x1, 4 minus 6, 1 minus 3, equals 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So this is a length of the square root of 8. I didn't label this one square root of 18. And we just continue. Now we're going to do BC. Side BC equals the square root, parentheses minus parentheses squared, plus parentheses minus parentheses squared. So BC. So BC is here. X2 minus X1 is 6 minus 3. X2 minus X1 is 3 minus 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. 3 squared is 9. Negative 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. That is also the square root of 18. It ought to be, since it is a rectangle. So really all I had to do is these two, because this is the square root of 18. And if I do this one more time, it's going to be the square root of 8. So I will save time by doing this. So the perimeter, remember, perimeter equals all the sides added up. So the square root of 8 plus the square root of 8 plus the square root of 18 plus the square root of 18 equals. Okay, so I'm going to get my calculator. And to save time, square root of 8 plus the square root of 8 is 2 square root 8. So 2 square root 8 plus 2 square root 18, just to save more time. And I get 14.14, and it is an approximation. So let's do that approximation. This was an 18. 14.14 units. It is not squared, it's not area, it's the length around. Distance is degree 1. Okay, so there's the perimeter, 14.4 units. So now it says to find the area using the area formula. So area of the rectangle equals base times height. And we have the square root of 18 times the square root of 8. So if I say, or length times width, it doesn't matter. Length times width. The area is the square root of 18 times the square root of 8. So that is going to equal the square root of 8 times 8 is 64. Carry the 6. 8 plus 6 is 14. And the square root of 144 is 12 units squared. Okay, now part D is leading us to something else. It's now saying list the vertices starting with A moving counterclockwise. So counterclockwise is A, B, C, D, alphabetical order. counterclockwise, or I'm sorry, that's clockwise. Counterclockwise, beginning with A, would be A, D, C, B. So I just want to do what I did in 1 and rearrange them in order of A, D, B, C. So A, 1, 4, and then D, forgot the letter, and then D, which is 4, 1, and then C, which is 6, 3, and finally B, which was 3, 6. Okay, so now they're listed in order counterclockwise. So in the last lesson, I explained a formula to find the area of a triangle in general if it was not parked, or if one vertex was not at the origin. So in other words, if I had a triangle such as, if I cut this in half, I have a triangle ABC. So I would use A, C, and B. And if you don't remember the formula, it's hard, it might be tough to remember at first, but it comes back to you. It's X1, Y2. So it's area equals 1/2 X sub 1 times Y sub 2 minus, I got it right here, X sub 2, Y sub 1. Okay, and they call this the shoelace, okay, formula. Okay, so where is that coming from? X1, Y2, X2, Y1. Well, it's coming from the area, or we're taking the areas of the rectangle minus the areas of all of the triangles to get the area of the shaded, and it simplified down to this. I did it in lesson 9 if you need to see the proof on that. Now we're going to step it up, and now we're going to use it for a 4-sided figure. So it's the same it's the same process. So I'm just going to give the shoestring formula here rather than derive it. And what the shoestring formula is let me get it one moment, or shoelace. I keep saying shoestring. It's the shoelace formula. Okay, so the shoelace formula is A equals 1/2, the quantity. And what we're going to do is we're going to take X1, Y2 plus, then we're going to go to the next X, X2, Y3. And then we're going to go to the next X plus X3. So I'm increasing my X's, X1, X2, X3. My Y's are increasing, Y2, Y3. Now, if this was just a 3-sided figure, I'd go back to Y1. But I'm going to have a Y4 in this case. I have 4 points, A, B, C, and D. But we have to go in counterclockwise order for this to work. So it's X1, Y2 plus X2, Y3 plus X3, Y4, but that's only 3. So I'm going to do one more. I got to get to X4, but I've already gone Y2, Y3, Y4, so I have to go around to the other Y that I haven't used, and that's Y1. And then it's the same thing, except now the Y's come first and it's minus. So it's going to be minus Y1, X2 minus Y2, X3 minus Y3, X4 minus Y4, and then I have to go back to X1 because I didn't use it here. I started with X2 on the minuses, and it's going to be X1. Okay, just fit that in. That is a long formula. So now we're going to substitute in these values. So this is X1, Y1, X2, Y2, X3, Y3, X4, Y4. All right, so now I'm going to say the area equals 1/2 and I substitute in my givens. x1, 1 times y2. y2 is here, it's 1, plus x2, x2, y3, y3, plus x3, x3 is 6, y4 is 6, plus x3, I just did that, x4, 3, times y1, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that brought us to here. And now we're going to start the minuses. So I'll switch to green now just because we switched to the y's. Minus y4, I'm sorry, we're starting right here. Did I do x4, 3, y1, 4, 3, 4? Yes. Now I'm here, minus y1, 4, times x2, 4, minus y2, 1, times x3, 6, minus y3, 3, times x4, 3, minus y4, 6, times x1, 1. Okay, now it's going to start getting easier. A equals 1/2, parentheses, 1 times 1 plus 4 times 3 plus 6 times 6 plus 4 times 3 minus 4 times 4 minus 1 times 6 minus 3 times 3 minus 6 times 1. So the area is going to equal 1/2. And remember PEMDAS, if you have addition, subtraction, you work left to right. 1 plus 12 is 13, plus 36 is 49, plus 12 is 61, minus 16 is 51, 45, minus 6 is 39, minus 9 is 30, minus 6 is 24. So 1/2 of 24 equals 12 units squared. And that's what we got using the graph. Okay? Whew, I'm glad that worked. That was a lot of work. All righty. Shoelace formula. Okay, page 3 is just practice of the shoelace formula. So the first step in practicing the shoelace formula is you start with A and you list the label. You label the points, 1, 1. And then B, or what is it B? Just don't go in alphabetical order. Let's go back and review. What did we do here? We went A, D, C, B for this to work. A, D, C, B. So start with one of the vertices. It doesn't matter which. I like using the first letter of the alphabet and go counterclockwise. So in this case, it is A, B, C, D. So now my point B is 6, 2. My C is 5, 4. And my D is 2, 5. So there are our points. And then label them X1, Y1, X2, Y2, X3, Y3, X4, Y4. All right, and the formula really isn't that difficult. It's easy to remember. Area equals 1/2. Parentheses. You always start with x1, but you use the y2. This number is always one more than this to start. Then I used x1, and now I'm going to add x2 and the next y, which is 3. And then I'm going to add the next x, which is x3, and multiply that by y4. And then I'm going to add the last x, which is x4. So I have x1, x2, x3, x4. I started with y2, so I have to go back to y1. So I went 2, 3, 4, 1 with the y's. Then it's minus, and then the y's start first. y1, x2, minus y2, x3, minus y3 x4 minus y4 back to x1. Okay, it is lengthy, and I apologize for going into the diagram, but it doesn't matter. We don't use a diagram anymore. So now we're going to substitute in our givens. A equals 1/2. So x sub 1 is 1 times y sub 2, which is 2, plus y2 or x2 is 6 plus y3 4. Oops, times. Okay, that should be a 2. 6 x2 y3 is times 4. I have plus x3 5 times y4 5 plus x4, which is 2 times y1, which is 1. I'll just change colors to keep it separate. Minus. So now we're right here. y1, 1 times x2, 6, minus y2, 2, x3, 5, minus y3, 4 times x4, 2, minus, finally y4, which is 5, minus, go back to x1, 1, not minus, times. Okay. Then we say area equals 1/2, 2 plus 24 plus 25 plus 2 minus 6 minus 10 minus 8 minus 5. Okay, that wasn't so bad. A equals 1/2. 2 plus 24 is 26. 26 and 25 is 51, and 2 is 53. 47, 37, 29, 24. So the area equals 12 units squared. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to erase this to get it out of the way. Now we need to do perimeter. All right, so perimeter. I'm just going to do this quickly. This is length 6. This is length 1. 6 squared is 36. 1 squared is 1. So this is a square root of 36 plus 1, or the square root of 37. 2 squared, 4. 1 squared, 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. This is a square root of 5. Okay. 1 squared is 1. 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. This is the square root of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 squared is 16. 1 squared is 1. 16 plus 1 is 17. This is the square root of 17. Perimeter equals the square root of 37 plus the square root of 5 plus the square root of 10 plus the square root of 17. And that is an approximate value. So I don't know why I put an equal sign. It is approximately, according to my calculator, square root 37 plus root 5 plus root 10 plus root 17. And that's approximately 15.6 units. Okay, I realized I just made a mistake. So this is not 37. This is a distance of 5, not 6, because it starts at 1. So 5 squared is 25 plus 1 is 26, not 37. So I need to erase this square root 37 and make it 26. And then in my calculator, I'm just going to hit second entry and go back and change that 37 to a 26. and hit enter, and that should be the right answer. So it's 14.6. I was off by 1 unit. So it's 14.6 as an approximation. Okay, there we have it. Number 3, break up the Pentagon to find the area using Green's theorem. Compare your method with a partner. All right. Okay, so we're going to break this into pieces and use our shoelace formula. So what I'm going to do is make a triangle out of here. Here's a triangle. And then I'm going to make a rectangle. I take that back. A quadrilateral, 4-sided figure. It is not a rectangle. X1, Y1 to X5, Y5 is not parallel to X3, Y3, X4, Y4. This is not a rectangle, but it is a quadrilateral. So we have these two figures. Okay, so let me make some more room because this will take a little space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is find the area of the triangle and the area of the rectangle using the shoelace theorem in each, and then combining the two. So I'll use red for the triangle. So area equals 1/2 x sub 1 y sub 2 plus x sub 2 y sub 3 plus x sub 3 y sub 1. Since we only have 3, it goes 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Okay, and then it's going to be minus y sub 1 x sub 2 minus y sub 2 x sub 3 minus y sub 3, and go back to x sub 1. So there is the area of the triangle. So that is going to equal 1/2. And let's figure out what these x1, y1s are. So that is, I'm just going to put them up here. This is the 0.35. So x sub 1 is 3. And x2, y2 is the 0.1 comma 2. And there's my y2. So that's 3 times 2 plus x sub 2, which is 1, times y sub 3, which is over here, and that is the 0.7 comma 1. So y sub 3 is 1. Plus x sub 3, y sub 1. X sub 3 is 7 times y sub 1, which is 5, minus y sub 1, 5, times x sub 2, 1, minus y sub 2, 2, times x sub 2, x sub 3, 7, minus y sub 3, which is 1, times x sub 1, which is 3. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 products. So then A is going to equal 1/2 6 plus 1 plus 35 minus 5 minus 14 minus 3. And that's going to be 6, 7, 42, 37, 47, 51. I'm sorry, I'm adding. Try again. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 35 is 42. Minus 5 is 37. Minus 10 is 27. Minus 4 more is 23. Minus 3 is 20. Half of 20 is 10. So there is the area of the red triangle. Now we have to do the blue. Area equals 1/2 x sub 1 y sub 2 plus, it's the exact same equation here, but we're just adding one more to the end of each. Y sub 2 x sub 2. X sub 1 y sub 2 plus x sub 2 y sub 3 plus x sub 3 y sub 4 plus x sub 4 back to y sub 1 minus y sub 1 x sub 2 minus y sub 2 x sub 3 minus y sub 3 x sub 4 minus y sub 4 back to x sub 1. Okay, area equals a half. X sub 1 is 3 times y sub 2 is 2 plus, and I could really just speed this up by just looking at these first three. 1 times 1 plus 7 times 5. But don't forget, this is the new one. Plus x sub 4, which is the point 8, comma 3. So x sub 4 is 8 times y sub 1, which is 5. Okay, but time out. I need to think about this a second. Okay, I'm done thinking. I have to do this over. I need to begin at a point and go counterclockwise. I'm not using these points. So that's, I just realized that. I am apologizing. This is the point 5 comma 6. 5 comma 6. So if we start here, x sub 1, y sub 1, then we're going to go to x sub 3, y sub 3. So I'm going to write these over here in the order we're going to use them. All right. And that is really going to mess with our formula. And it doesn't matter where we start. I could start anywhere. Let's just start here. All right. So it's going to be x sub 1 times y sub 3, the next y counterclockwise, plus x sub 3, the next x, times the next y over here, which is y4, plus the next x, which is x sub 4, and then y sub 5, plus x sub 5, y sub 1, back to the beginning, minus y sub 1, now we're here, going to the next x, x sub 3. Then the next y from y sub 1 going counterclockwise is y sub 3 minus y sub 3, but I'm going to use the x from the next vertex, which is x sub 4, and that is x sub 4 minus, I just use y3, I go to the next y, which is y4, times x on the next vertex, which is 5, minus the next x, which is, or y, which is y5, minus the x from the over here, which is x1. Okay. All righty. And there shouldn't be a minus here, that's times. Okay. All right, now we're going to substitute in our givens. A equals 1/2. X sub 1 is 3. Y sub 3 is 1. Plus x sub 3, 7, times y sub 4, which is 3, plus x sub 4, which is 8, times y sub 5, which is 6, plus x sub 5, which is 5, times y sub 1, which is 5, minus y sub 1, which is 5, times x sub 3, which is 7, minus y sub 3, 1, times x sub 4, 8, minus y sub 4, 3, times x sub 5, which is 5, minus y sub 5, which is 6, times x sub 1, which is 3. So the area equals 1/2, 3 times 1, plus 7 times 3, plus 8 times 6, plus 5 times 5, minus 5 times 7, minus 8 times 1, minus 3 times 5 minus 6 times 3. So the area of the rectangle, or the, not rectangle, quadrilateral is 1/2. 24, 40 plus 20 is 60, 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 3, 72, plus 25, 82, 92, 97, 80, 70, 67, 62, 54, 44, 39, 29, 8, 19, 21, 21, which equals 10.5. So the area is the area of the triangle plus the area of this. So the total area equals 20.5 units squared. Okay, page 4 brings us to number 4. So let's dive in and get this done. This is a very long process. So first of all, it says to find the perimeter and the area of this quadrilateral. All right, so the distance from here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 squared is 64. 1 squared is 1. 64 plus 1, square root of 65. So AD, square root of 65. This I have to go up 2, so that's 2 squared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squared. 4 squared is, or 2 squared is 4. 7 squared is 49. 49 plus 4 is 53. Okay, I had to go over 2, so that's 2 squared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 2 squared is 4. 81 plus 4 is the square root of 85. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 1. 6 squared is 36. 1 squared is 1. This is the square root of 36 plus 1, or 37. All right, so perimeter equals the square root of 53 plus the square root of 85 plus the square root of 37 plus the square root of 65, which is approximately, not equal, which is approximately, all right, square root 53 plus square root 85 plus square root 37 plus square root 65. Enter 30.64. .64 units. All right. Just making sure I did that correctly. This is problem 4. 30.64 is correct. All right, find the area of the, okay, so then we have to find the area of this. Okay, that's where it takes a long time. And it's taking up a lot of space here. So the first thing I'm going to do is we need a starting point. Let's call it A. I'm just going to do my points on here, and that is the point -3, 4. And then this is the point -4, -4. This is the point 2, -3. And this is the point 4, 6. All right, so once you get the hang of this, it just takes a lot of space to write this out. So just give me a moment. Okay, I just got that next problem out of the way because I'm going to write this down here. Area equals 1/2. It does not matter where you start. I will start here, but you must go counterclockwise. Start with x1, -3, times the y at the next location, which is -4. So it's -3 times -4 plus, then go to the next x, -4. I should put these in parentheses to avoid the confusion. -4 times, this is my x, times the next y, which is -3, plus the next x, which is 2, times the y that follows up here, which is 6, plus finally the last x, which is 4 times y at the beginning, which is a. All right, and then minus, start with y from our starting point. Y4 is 4 times x at the next point, which is negative 4, minus this y times the next x. That looks like 9. Let me fix that. Or I'll be making a mistake. And then, so where was I? Negative 4 times this y, which is negative 3, minus this x. Am I doing this right? No, I'm not. I lost track. So let me just go back to the beginning. I might have been doing it right. Just hold on and see. I think I started mixing up my x's and y's. So when we start over, we want to start with y, 4, times the following x, negative 4, minus this y, negative 4, times this x, 2, minus this y, times the next x, 4, minus the x there, or the y there, minus the original x. So the starting point x of a is that. And then the whole thing is multiplied by half. So area equals 1/2. Negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. Plus negative 4 times negative 3 is 12. Plus 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 4 times 4 is 16. Minus 4 times a negative 4, which is another plus 16. Did I do that right? Yes. Minus negative times a positive 8 is a plus. Minus negative 3 times 4 is plus 12. Minus a negative times a positive, which would be a minus a negative, which is plus 18. So the area equals 1/2. 12 plus 12 is 24, 36, 46, 52, 62, 68, 76, 86, 88, 98, 106, which equals 53 units squared. It's correct. I checked it. Okay, so notice what happened in this one. It's the first time I've seen that. If your quadrilateral goes above and below the x-axis, careful with your multiplication. A positive times negatives, negative, but minus a negative is plus. So these were all added together. There was no subtraction. And it is 53 units squared. Okay, number 5. Man, this is tedious, but I'm going to go. I've got grit. I'm carrying on. Find the area of a pentagon with these vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. Okay, it dips down a little here. Find the area of the pentagon. So it's just asking for area, so that's a good thing. So let's choose a starting point. I will start at, it doesn't matter. I'll start at A. But just remember, we have to go this way. And we start with our x's and our next y. So first thing you do is label. A is at the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. E is at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's hard to read that. 2, 4. Is that right? Or is that 2, 4, 6, 8? It is. Oh, they're messing with me. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 0, this is 2, 4, 6, 8. This is not the 0.54, it's the 0.58. So be careful with the scale. Don't just count squares. So E is not 2, 4, E is 2, 6. Over 2 up 2, 4, 6. Yes. D is left 2 up 4. Negative 2, comma 4, and C is negative 1 and negative 2. Negative 1, negative 2, and D is 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, 2, and then a half, which would be 3. So B is the 0.4, comma negative 3. So be careful with those. That's the first trick. All right, so let's do this. area equals 1/2. I am not going to take the time to write the formula. I'm going to start at I start with x1, 5, times the next y, which is 6, plus 2 times the next y, 4, plus x, -2, times the next y, -2, times the next x, which is -1, times y from over here, -3. I didn't put plus there. And they're probably all connected because I wrote it too fast. All right. So let me just squeeze in a plus right here. There's a plus right here. All right, plus. So I did -1 times -3. The next x is 4 times the next y, which is 8. And then finally, plus the last x. So I did what? 5, then 2, and I didn't put parentheses around these, but anyway. Then -2, then -1, then 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Did I do that correctly? Yes, because 4 would have been x sub 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, x sub 5 times y sub 1, 8. Yes, that is correct. Now I'll just change colors to do the minuses. Now we're starting with y. And I might run out of room here, so I'm going to do it on the next line. So I'm just going to come down to the next line and say minus, so it's a continuation to the next line, minus y1, 8, times the next x in line. Go to the next point, x is 2. Minus the y that went with that 2 times the next x, which is -2. The y there is 4. The next x is -1. Minus that y is -2. The next x is 4. Minus, so I did now the -3 times the x from the beginning, 5. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of multiplication, and we're now going to simplify. All right, so here we go. Area equals 1/2. Now it's easy. 6 times 5 plus 2 times 4 plus negative times negative is positive. 2 times 2 is 4 plus a negative times a negative is positive. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 8 times 4, 32 minus 8 times 2, 16 minus 6 times a -2 is 12. That's going to be plus 12 because minus a negative, and minus a -4 is plus 4, and minus a -8 is plus 8, and minus a -15 is plus 15. Just confirming this one here. It's the only one I didn't have a negative. Is that true? So I started here, 8, 2. They're both in the first quadrant. They're both positive. That is correct. Okay, so now we're going to multiply. I'm sorry. I don't need 2 parentheses. We are going to simplify what's in the parentheses. 30 plus 8 is 38, 42, 45, 77, 67, 61, 51, 49, 45, 37, 27, 22. 1/2 of 22. So the area equals 11 units squared. All right, I made a mistake. This is tricky, but just be careful. I think I continued subtracting here and it turned into pluses because of my double negative. All right, so let's do that again. 30 plus 8, 38, 42, 45, 77, 67, 61. Now I'm adding 73, 77, 85, 95, 100. 1/2 of 100, which is 50 units squared. Okay. That's it. Okay, just in case you haven't had enough practice, let's do one more on page 6 or page 5, number 6. All right. Find the area and perimeter, and then you'll have to go to your homework. All right, 1, 2, 3. That side is length 3. Let's do perimeter first. 1, 2. 1 squared plus 2 squared. 4 plus 1 is 5. This is the square root of 5. 2 by 1, again, square root 5. 1, 2, 3, and guess what? This is going to be square root 5, and this is going to be the square root of 5. So the perimeter equals 3 plus 3 plus. All right, let's just stop right there. We all know that repeated addition's multiplication. I see 2 3s. So it's 2 times 3 plus 4 times the square root of 5. In other words, the perimeter is 6 plus 4 square root 5, which is approximately, and I put an equal sign again, which is approximately 6 plus 4 square root 5 is 14.94 units. Okay, there's the perimeter. I'm going to erase these just for the next problem. All righty. And here we go. Area. Did it say to use a shoestring? Shoelace? I keep saying shoestring. Shoelace theorem? I think so. Let's just keep doing that. So here's where we'll start, and we'll go this direction. This is the point -1, 5. This is the point -2, 3. This is the point -1, 1. This is the point 2, 1. This is the point 3, 3. And this is the point 2, 5. All right, ready? A equals 1/2 x sub 1. -1. The next y, 3. Plus this x times this y plus this x times this y plus this x times the next y plus this x times the next y plus the last x times the first y minus, I'll move down to the next line for these. Now we're going to start at A with our y. So that's going to be 5 times the next x, -2. And this is messy. Let me fix that. 5 times -2 minus 3 times -1 minus 1 times the next x minus 1 times the next x minus this y times the next x minus this y times the first x. All right, so the area is going to equal 1/2. -1 times 3 is -3 plus -2 times 1 is minus. So let's just, instead of saying plus a negative, say -2. Minus times a positive is minus, plus a negative is -1, plus 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 times 5 is 10, minus a positive times a negative is negative. That's going to be minus a -10, which is plus 10, minus 3 times -1, which would be +3, +2, +3, careful here, -6, +5. Okay, area equals 1/2. -3, -5, -6, 0. Start over here. So that got to 0 right there. So 15, 25, 35, 38, 40, 43, minus 6 is 37, plus 5 is 42. Half of 42 is 21 units squared. Did I do that right? Okay, I did make a mistake, so I need to fix it. Where did I make the mistake? Right here. See that minus right there? I put it at the end of the line and then I dropped down below and forgot about it. So that changes this. That's the only thing it changed. -5 times a negative. So it's 2 times 5 is 10 minus, actually, no, I didn't forget it. Let's just check this. -1 times 3 is -3. Oh, I'm looking over here now. -1 times 3 is -3. -2 times 1 is -2. -1 times 1 is -1. 2 times 3 is 6. We're good up to there. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. Now we're here. Minus a -10. I didn't forget it. It's plus 10. Plus 3. Plus 2. Plus 3. Minus 6. Plus 5. Huh. Those all seem to be correct. -3, 5, -6. Plus 6 is 0, 15, 25, 35, 38, 43, 43, minus 6, 37, 42. I'm getting 1/2 of 42, which equals 21 units squared. Oh. Okay. Right here. -1 times 2 is -2. -1 times 3 is -3. -3 times 2 is -6, and that's plus 5. So there's where my error was. So now when I re-add that -3, that was still going to be 0 to here. 15, 25, 35, 38, 37, 36, 33, 27, plus 5 is 32. All right, now it's fixed. So that's 32, and half of 32 is 16. Okay, sorry about that. Be very careful with your signs. It is 16 units squared. Whew. Okay, page 6 brings us to the end of lesson 10. Go to your problem set.